What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Celtic Clydesdale show. I'm Jim and I am the Celtic Clydesdale. Today's episode we're going to be talking about racing, particularly how to do it on the cheap. So let's get into it. All right, so as I said, we're going to be talking about how to race on the cheap, all right? Now, there's 4 basic ways, in my opinion, that you can race without spending a lot of money, all right? And let's go ahead and get into those. So we'll start with number 1. Number 1, go short. Now, what this means is find a race that's at a shorter distance, okay? Do a sprint. A sprint race is going to be a lot cheaper typically than an Olympic race. Definitely going to be cheaper than a 70.3, and it's definitely going to be a lot cheaper than a 140.6, all right? The thing is, with triathlons, the longer that race is, the more expenditure the promoter has for them, all right? And thus, the higher the cost for us racers, all right? Because they've got to recoup some of that money, all right? And some promoters, they're in it for profit. Other promoters are in it for charitable reasons, all right? So the profits they make, they donate to charities. So what happens is the longer the race goes, the longer roads have to be closed off for the race, the longer EMS officials or, police officers have to be out there. And I mean, that all costs money. And like I said, the promoters have to recoup that money. So the longer your race goes, the more you're going to pay for it. So go short, save money. All right. Method number 2 to race on the cheap. Go grassroots. What does this mean? Well, go with a promoter that's smaller and only does, maybe a handful of races or 1 or 2 races or something like that. All right. If you get into the big names, I won't mention a particular one, but it's a comic book character. Yeah, I hope you know what I'm talking about. If you get into one of their races, you're paying big money, all right? If you get into, say, I don't know, like a Revolution 3 or a challenge race, they put on a good race, you got a great atmosphere, but you're going to pay for all of that. So if you go with a smaller promoter that, doesn't have, as big an atmosphere, we'll say, which is not to demean the smaller promoters or anything. They're more focused on putting their money into the event rather than all the things going on with the event, all right? Which isn't a bad thing because they save a little cash and they pass that on to you. So you save money on doing the race. So go grassroots is number 2. Number 3, stay local. What's this mean? It's simple. Don't travel a long way for, a race, all right? If you live in Indianapolis, Indiana, maybe going to Chicago is not a great idea for a race. Go to Muncie for a race. Go to Lafayette. It doesn't matter. The point is, you stay close to home. You get less travel costs, all right? Definitely, if you're getting on a plane and going to a race, it's going to cost you a lot, all right? Because you're taking in more than just the race fees. Now you got to pay to ship your bike and, you got to pay for other things. You also run the risk of what happened to a friend of mine when she came down to North Carolina to do the 2012 OBX Olympic triathlon with me. The airlines misplaced her bike, and frankly, we were up, the both of us, until well past midnight the night before the race. One, running back and forth from where I live to Norfolk to get her bike, and then to get her bike put back together so that she could race in the morning. And I don't know, I didn't get to bed till 2 o'clock that night, and I had pre-race jitters and all that good stuff. But hey, the race got done. But the point is, if you keep it local, you're not going to be paying the travel costs. You won't have to pay a hotel, and the airline won't misplace your bicycle. All right. Now, for the purpose of this video, the last one, number 4, gear. We'll boil it down, and I'm pretty sure I said this in a previous episode, but you only absolutely need one piece of equipment to do a triathlon, and that's your bicycle. All right, goggles for the swim, yeah, they make it easier to see, but they're not absolutely necessary. You could make it through a swim without it, especially if it's a pool swim. You could do a pool swim with your eyes, you know, just in the water, or, you know, if it's an open water swim, and it'll take you longer, but use a stroke where you don't have to put your eyes in the water, you know, and you can keep them open and see where you're going without the use of goggles. All right, it can be done. So goggles, not totally needed. Running shoes on the run. I mean, you could go barefooted. Honestly, there's nothing against it. There's no rule that says thou shalt have shoes on, so you don't need them per se. So really, the only piece of equipment you have to have is a bicycle, and the only real rules for most triathlons for the bicycle you need states that it has to be an upright bicycle. All right, you can't use a recumbent, and of course the bicycle has to be totally human powered, no motors or any of that. But that's all you need is bicycle. You can go find a beach cruiser that you paid 15 bucks for at a yard sale, and it's completely legit. So that's like it, literally all you need to race is that bicycle, nothing else. All right, so you minimize your gear. Now, obviously, most people are going to wear goggles. Most people are going to wear shoes on the run. So what it boils down to is look around for deals. You could get a relatively decent pair of goggles on, say, like Amazon for about $6, $8. In that neighborhood, and they'll get you through a race or two. They might not last as long as, say, I don't know, a $30 pair of Tier Spec Op 2s, but they'll get you through a race, and they won't cost a whole lot. Same with shoes. Look for shoes that are, you know, on the lower end. If you look back at some of my interviews, or my previous reviews, I should say, I'll put a tag for one of them up here. The Asics Gel Contends. They're regularly, you could get them for $40. All right, it's not a whole lot to spend. You can even go cheaper, you know. But I warn you, you kind of pay for what you get. But that's not the point here. The point is, you don't have to spend a whole lot on your shoes to go do the race. All right, so get yourself like a pair of Gel Contend 6s for $40. You're good to go. Like I said with the bicycle, you can pick something up, you know, a beach cruiser from a yard sale. You're good to go, and you're all set. So shop around, look for deals. Going back to the running shoes, another way you can do it, get previous models, right? If you can find a Gel Contend 5, it's probably going to cost you 25 bucks right now. I haven't looked this up, so don't quote me on that one. But for the most part, shop for previous models of shoes. So a good example, I'm currently running in some Brooks Ghost 13s. Find a Ghost 11. It's going to be a lot cheaper than the current model, the 13. And for the most part, you get the same benefits out of it, you know. Honestly, I might have to look again, but I really, like in that case, I don't think there's a lot of difference between the 11 and 13. Point is, shop around, minimize the amount of gear you take with you that you do get, and you'll save funds. There you have it, the 4 ways that you can race on the cheap. So let's go ahead and close this thing out. All right, racing on the cheap. 4 ways to do it. Take them to heart. If you liked what I just mentioned in this video, do me a favor. Give me the thumbs up. If you didn't, okay, I'll take the thumbs down. But in any case, if you want to discuss any of the things that I mentioned in this video, hit me down in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. If you got other suggestions for racing on the cheap that I didn't even cover here, bring them up down there. All right. Let's just open a conversation about it. The best part of doing these videos is interacting with you guys out there in YouTube land. So please comment something. I don't know. Also, if you're new to the channel or you just haven't gotten around to it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notified when I put up videos. All right. So that's all I got for this episode. So until next time, keep on keeping on.